Picture this. You've invested dozens of hours building what you believe is a solid GRC portfolio. You've followed every template, completed multiple projects, and finally hit publish on your Notion site or personal domain. Yet the interview requests are nowhere to be found. I've heard this story from so many talented IT GRC professionals over the past year. The frustrating part? It's rarely because they lack knowledge or experience. More often, it's because of 5 silent but deadly mistakes that quietly sabotage their chances before a hiring manager even finishes reading the resume. In today's video, we're going to unpack those exact mistakes in detail. Real examples I've seen in 2025 to 2026 hiring cycles. And, more importantly, the practical fixes that can turn a maybe later portfolio into one that stands out and gets real traction. If you're targeting GRC analyst, senior analyst, or even manager level roles this year, stay with me. By the end, you'll have a clear action plan you can apply this weekend. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1, the generic copy-paste portfolio. The first mistake is by far the most common I see. You find a popular Notion template or GitHub repository and essentially copy the same ISO 27001 gap analysis, basic NISTIC spreadsheet, or vendor risk assessment that hundreds of other candidates are submitting. Hiring managers, especially in competitive markets, can spot these generic submissions in seconds. Instead of thinking, this person brings fresh thinking, they think, this is just another tutorial project. Story from the field. One candidate I coached had a beautiful looking portfolio, but every single artifact matched the top 3 templates on a well-known GRC community site. He went from 0 interviews to 3 final round discussions once we customized each project. How to fix it? Turn every deliverable into a short, realistic story. Choose a specific industry context. For example, a fintech startup pursuing SOC 2 Type 2 readiness, or a mid-sized healthcare provider navigating a Microsoft 365 migration under HIPAA. For each project, include a 1-page project context and business problem sheet that covers the fictional but realistic company size and industry, key stakeholders and their concerns, relevant regulations or frameworks, constraints such as budget, timeline, or legacy systems, change risk appetite levels, adjust control environments, and tweak scenarios. Suddenly, the same core work feels authentic, thoughtful, and tailored. This small change alone can dramatically increase perceived value. Mistake number 2, focusing on activities instead of business outcomes. Mistake number 2 feels subtle, but it hurts your chances more than almost anything else. You list what you did, conducted a risk assessment, reviewed controls, drafted policy updates, performed vendor due diligence. These are activities, not results. Hiring managers today are under pressure to show clear business value. They want to know what changed because of your work. Practical fix. For every single project in your portfolio, add a dedicated Results and Business Impact section. Include quantifiable outcomes such as reduced the number of high-risk findings by 47% within 1 quarter. Shortened third-party risk review cycle time from 6 weeks to 11 business days. Supported the business in avoiding an estimated $380,000 in potential regulatory fines. Improved control maturity score from 2.1 to 3.4 on a 5-point scale. Even if these are portfolio projects built outside of a real job, use realistic assumptions based on industry benchmarks and clearly label them as simulated results based on typical outcomes. This shift from activity to impact tells a much stronger story. It shows you understand how GRC work drives real business value, not just compliance checkboxes. Mistake number 3, staying only at the tactical/analyst level. Number 3, Your portfolio only showcases tactical, day-to-day analyst-level work. If everything revolves around control testing, evidence collection, basic policy drafting, or simple risk registers, you risk being seen as someone who can execute but not elevate. In 2026, organizations are looking for professionals who can operate at the next level, especially for senior or manager track roles. The strategic upgrade you need. Make sure at least 2 or 3 artifacts demonstrate higher-order thinking. An executive-level risk dashboard with clear narrative and recommended actions. A risk appetite statement accompanied by a short board or leadership presentation deck, 3 to 5 slides. A GRC technology selection and implementation business case with cost-benefit analysis. A third-party risk management program roadmap that includes ROI justification and phased implementation. These pieces prove you can translate complex technical risk into language that executives and the board understand. That ability is often the single biggest differentiator between candidates who get promoted and those who stay stuck at the analyst level. Section 4. Mistake number 4. Poor structure, navigation, and first impressions. 6:30 to 8:20. Mistake number 4 is painful because it's so easy to avoid, yet it creates an immediate negative impression. A single massive Notion page, broken Google Drive links, or folders filled with files named risk_final_v3_final.xlsx screams disorganization. Build a professional structure instead. Start with a clean 1 or 2 page PDF portfolio overview. Include a clickable, well-organized table of contents. Organize each project in its own folder containing project context, main deliverables, results and impact, and optional lessons learned reflection. Host everything on a simple personal domain. yourname-grc.com works great, or a polished password-protected Notion site. First impressions matter enormously in a competitive job market. Make it effortless and enjoyable for a busy hiring manager to explore your work. Section 5. Mistake number 5. Outdated, stale, or irrelevant content. 8:20 to 10:05. The final mistake is letting your portfolio age without regular updates. Projects that reference older frameworks, pre-cloud environments, or yesterday's regulations quietly signal that your thinking may no longer be current. Stay fresh and relevant. Set a recurring calendar reminder to review your entire portfolio every 6 months. Refresh examples with 2026 priorities such as AI governance and risk, supply chain resilience, SEC cybersecurity disclosure rules, DORA requirements, NIST 2, or cloud-native security models. Add a visible, last updated date to every artifact. And always keep at least one brand new project in your portfolio that demonstrates forward thinking, perhaps something we covered in video 18. This habit shows continuous learning and keeps your personal brand sharp. Your GRC portfolio is far more than a collection of files. It's the story of how you think, how you approach problems, and the kind of value you bring to an organization. Avoid these 5 common mistakes, and you'll stop blending into the crowd and start standing out as the thoughtful, business-minded professional that hiring managers are actively looking for in 2026. Your action plan for this weekend. Conduct a quick audit of your current portfolio against the 5 mistakes we covered. Choose your 2 weakest areas and make concrete improvements. Update your LinkedIn featured section and resume with the refreshed links and new impact statements. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one portfolio mistake you've caught in your own work or seen from others? I read every single comment and often reply with additional tips. If you want the exact portfolio structure template, scoring rubric, example files, and the full set of 2026 relevant project starters I share with my coaching clients, Everything is included in the Applied IT GRC Starter Kit. The link is in the description below. Next Thursday, we'll continue the series with practical guidance on how to present this polished portfolio effectively on LinkedIn and in your resume without sounding overly salesy. Thank you for watching. If this video gave you actionable value, please give it a like, subscribe for more practical IT GRC career content, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.